Hello everyone and welcome to the Remote Chess Academy channel. I'm international master from Romania, Alexandru Banzea. My age is 19 and I'm here to provide you with some nice attacking chess. In this case played by myself, so we've got a game I played a few years ago, back in 2016 against Tarrasch Sergiu Gabriel, which is a pretty decent junior at the level of 2000 rated. He was rated to 2074 at that time, and my rating was 2258. So it was the last round of the junior under 16 championship, and the situation was pretty tense because I had to win the game in order to have chances for the silver medal, which was basically providing you with accommodation in the European Junior Chess Championship. So it was a very important game for me. So yeah, I opened up with one e4 and he responded with the French defense. This is his main opening, and yeah, he has some experience with it. I went for the main move d4 d5, and here I deviated a bit from the ultra main line, which is knight to c3, because black can play either bishop b4 going for the Wiener variation, or knight to f6 leading to the old Steinitz lines. So yeah, I chose to play knight d2, which is the so-called Tarrasch variation in the French defense. I believe it's the second most played move in this position. So yeah, the main positive side of this line is that white is getting pretty easy play and is not taking a lot of risks, and still is trying to keep a very small edge. So my opponent here was playing knight f6. Another move here to consider is c5. And of course black also has got some sidelines, bishop e7 being one of them, mostly popularized by Nigel Short. But okay, my opponent was playing only knight f6, so I went e5, he played knight back to d7, I played bishop to d3. He attacked the center with c5, which I had to protect with my pawn. I played c3, he developed his knight to c6, and now I went for this knight e2 line, because it's the main weapon that usually white chooses. Another line would be knight g to f3, but yeah, sometimes black is considering being aggressive with the g5 move. So yeah, I mean, I was not really in the mood for that, and I played knight to e2, which has the main idea to switch places between the knights, because this knight's going to f3, and usually if the e2 knight can, it will go to c3. So it's a bit counterintuitive that the g1 knight is going to c3 and the b1 knight is going to f3, but this is how the French variation, the Tarrasch line, works basically. So this is well known so far. Black went for queen b6, I play knight f3, very logical, protecting the center. And here he played this bishop e7 move, which I believe he has played before, so I was prepared for it, and I went for the a3 move. In this position it's very important to mention that c takes on d4 is the main move, and white has to take back, and here black goes f6, white has to take, and after knight takes castle bishop d6 we're getting the tabia of this line. This is where the most games are played, and I think there are some over 1,000 games in this position, so this is highly popular. But yeah, my opponent was playing this bishop e7 sideline, and here I went for a3, which is a very interesting move, because white is not really showing his hand, still keeps the king in the center, and maybe whites want to gain some space on the queen side, also eliminating black's potential threat of cd4, pawn takes and knight to b4, trying to go after this very important light square bishop. So here black just went for short castle, which felt pretty natural, and I think I also considered before the game. And here I went for knight f4, still postponing the short castle, and yeah, already considering to go for some h4, bishop h7 thematic sacrifice. Like for example, let's say black would play something like a6, maybe he wants to like yeah, get rid of the queen from b6 and play b5. And now I think I would have played h4, and for example, if he ignores my threat, then this Greek gift, so-called Greek gift, is happening with knight comes to g5, and the king h6 is kind of the only way to try to not get into the normal stuff, but yeah, queen h5 is just a mate. So yeah, the other point is that king g8 is very normal, queen h5 is threatening mate, so black has to get rid of this, but after h takes g, then the h file is opening up, so black can only try f6 or f5, but after g6, yeah, the king is caged on g8, and queen h8 is going to mate him. So yeah, my opponent already had a feeling that I was going to try something like that, and he played rook e8, trying to maybe get the knight to f8 and protect against my sacrifices. So yeah, I just played h4. I mean, I could have tried the short castle. Maybe it would have gave me a slight edge, maybe to go for some b4 and positional play, but yeah, taking into consideration that this was a must-win game for me in order to get any prize, I had to go for the attack, and I played h4. Here he went knight f8, which I consider to be pretty normal, and now here I came with this very interesting concept. I played rook to h3. The point is that my king is going to go on the king side anyway, maybe to like king f1, king g1, but yeah, I want to keep my rook in the attack and try to go for his king. So yeah, if black only waits, for example, like bishop to d7, yeah, white can just I believe maybe just rook to g3, and then knight h5 is coming really strong. Also queen d2 is the typical way to get the queen in, so this is very, very bad for black already, I think. So he tried what I thought was logical. When basically this is very instructive, because if your opponent is trying to launch a flank attack, you have to look for a strike in the center. So in some way he won't be able to fully concentrate on the attack. So he tried this one, but unfortunately for black, white center is quite solidly supported by pawns and pieces. So f6 is not really stopping me from playing rook to g3, and yeah, he suddenly played f5, trying to block my d3 bishop. And yeah, he could have tried to go for something like f takes e5, but then I would have come up with a very strong knight h5, attacking g7. He has to play g6, but then the queen is coming really strong from d2, and yeah, he can maybe play e4, trying to fork me, but of course after queen goes to h6, yeah, mate is following. So instead of this e4, he can try maybe to run with his king, but yeah, white's got a very easy attacking play. Just bishop g5 comes, and queen g7, knight f6 is a really powerful threat, and now yeah, simply material is dropping, and yeah, black is just losing. So he tried to restrict my bishop from d3, playing f5. But then, also I could have played knight h5 immediately, but I played a bit prophylactic here. I played bishop to c2, and after cd, bishop d7, I played b4. I was trying to also, control the whole board. This is really nice to not only go for king, but also concentrate on every part of the board. So he tried a5 to chip away my queenside. And here I came again with a very interesting concept. I sacrificed my pawn with b5. A move such as knight d8 would be really passive. I think white can simply play a4 and this is much better. So he had to take the pawn, and now I played rook to b1, activating my rook and attacking the queen. And now I found a very strong way to get my queen into the attack. I played queen to d2. Already the queen is eyeing the h6 square. So yeah, already to defend such position might be quite tough. White is basically playing knight h5, queen h6 against anything. Let's say, for example, he would try something like king h8. I'll still play knight h5, and when g6 happens, I'll simply play queen h6, and gh5 captures knight, but then allows mate. So black didn't seem to have so many defensive resources, so he tried this interesting bishop to d8. The point being that knight h5 was met by rook to e7, but still queen h6 was played. And after knight g6, I think I was also considering to take on g6. But okay, this is not clear at all, because he might get in some bishop e8, and I didn't want to allow any counterplay, so I just went for knight f6, because it's a clear cut win, because black doesn't really have many moves here. Like if he goes to h8, then it's just mate on h7. So if he tries to run away, then knight g5 is coming. Also I can take on h7. White's got a lot of mating threats, so he had to take. But the point was he takes f6, and now the rook is under attack, and rook e8 is met by queen to g7, so black cannot leave the 7th rank. So if he plays rook to f7, then I have a really nice sacrifice to open up the way for my queen. Take with the queen on g6, and after king h8 I can simply take the rook, threatening mate on g7. And if he goes to f8, I've got bishop h6, king e8, and mate on g8. So he can only play rook f8, but I'll just take it with mate. So he tried bishop to e8, but of course, maybe h5 also works to go for the mate, but being a pretty tense situation. Also, I think some games have finished, and I was pretty sure that with the win I would have got the silver medal under 16. And that was basically giving me a ticket to the European Junior Championships. So here I just went for the safe way. I took the rook on e7. I'm already material up, and still a huge attack coming. He took with the bishop, and after bishop takes, he just played h5, already winning the knight, and that would be a full rook up for me. And okay, he tried queen to c4, attacking my c2 bishop, but of course I can simply ignore it. I played hg6, and after pawn takes, I didn't even try to protect my bishop. I just went to rook h3, and mate was following with queen h8, so rook to h7. So yeah, this was a very, very important last round win for me, giving me the basically ticket to junior championship in for the European Junior Championship. And yeah, to sum this up, I think that Black's first mistake was going for bishop e7, because it was an inferior line, not really fighting for the center, because cd4 is the main move, because Black's immediately attacking the center. And yeah, this is a very complicated position that yeah, if you are playing the French with white or from the black side, you should really go for studying the old games and understand all the ideas. Like usually Black's going for the exchange sack on f3, and sometimes can be just simply better even though he's an exchange down. So this is a very rich strategical position. But yeah, instead he played bishop to e7, which basically just gave me a free hand. I could play a3, b4, and gain space on the queen side, also h4 like I did on the king side. Basically white simply has a free hand. So yeah, I just chose this a3 way, and now I went for the attack, played h4. Here knight f8 was needed, because bishop h7 was already a huge threat. Like for example, if he plays simply like something queen 7, I just go for this, and knight f8, I can take on f7, and then at least pick up the rook. So knight f8 was against bishop h7, but then I just came up with this concept of rook h3. So f6 here is usually the good idea, to try to strike in the center when your opponent's trying to attack you. But unfortunately white just has a very, very solid center. So from here we can draw the conclusion that you shouldn't really attack if you don't have a compact center or any control into the center, because here you can see that Black still has an undeveloped bishop and rook, and his queen is not really guarding his king. So that's why I was able to play a move such as rook h3 and go for the attack, because his pieces were a bit offside. Like maybe also this knight from c6 and bishop on e7, rook on e8 are cut from the king side, and you can see how nicely my rook is coming to g3. Also my knights are looking into the king side bishops guarding h7, and also the c1 bishop can be quite deadly. And the queen in the game just came with a decisive effect to h6. So he played f6, but then after rook g3 realized that it's too late to just open up the center, because he's just going to get mated. So he tried to block with f5, but then I just played this prophylactic bishop to c2 move, and he took on d4, tried to get his normal counterplay with rook ca, knight a5, maybe bishop b5, but it's just too slow, because I just played b4, and after a5 I found this very nice pawn sacrifice with b5. After which, he's just his queen is completely out of the game, and his pieces are not really helping him into the defense. So I just went for knight to h5, and after rook to e7, the queen was joining the attack, and after knight g6 I only had to find this knight f6 move, and this sequence with gf6, pawn takes, rook f7, and here rook takes g6 is winning. So after finding all of that, I made my mind, and I just went for this. And here the situation was pretty sad. He had to play bishop to e8, and now I just collected the rook and played h5. Usually when you are just ahead in material and you have an attack, you shouldn't really worry about the results. So if you are on the defense, you should definitely try to keep some material, even though it looks like you are getting mated. So if you are actually getting mated, don't do that. don't get me wrong, but if you don't really see the mate and it's not that obvious, you should try to keep some material, because here, like, I can simply go for an endgame if I want and I still be winning. But yeah, I mean, it was very easy to play for the mate here. Like, I just ignored his threat on the c2 bishop and played rook to h3. So yeah, he could have tried to defend with bishop to f6, but of course he's just a rook up and he decided that he had seen enough. So yeah, that was the game. The last round win against Hera Sergiu Gabriel from the under-16 national championship of Romania. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the game, guys. It was a pretty interesting attacking game in my opinion. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and yeah, hopefully I'll see you in the next episode onto this channel. So goodbye.